Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Well, the US-China trade war continues to drag on. The US has hit the pause button on some of its other tariff measures. One example, the 25 auto tariff that was scheduled to take effect on Japanese vehicles this April has now been delayed by 3 months. It's a brief window of relief, but anxieties is still running high in Japan's auto industry. Because once the countdown resumes, Japanese automakers will inevitably have to face this storm. Since I've been working in the auto parts industry, this is a hot topic among my coworkers, and many of them see Trump's tariff as pretty much a done deal. Even though Japan is still negotiating hard with the US, most of my Japanese colleagues think it's just the government's last-ditch effort to soften the blow. The US is the world's second largest auto market, and for Japanese carmakers, it's absolutely crucial. Based on the data from Mark Lines, about 30% of Toyota's global sales comes from the US, Nissan about 35%, and Subaru nearly 74%, and Mazda over 40%. But it's not just about market share. What's more crucial is each company's risk structure. Some relies heavily on export from Japan, while others have a ready localized production site in North America. Let's start with Toyota, which is still the undisputed leader. According to Asahi Shimbun, Toyota sells over 2.3 million vehicles annually in the US, but only around 530,000 are exported from Japan. The rest are built locally. So while a 25 tariff could be a significant hit, estimated at 340 billion yen in losses, it won't threaten the company's foundation. Toyota is also well capitalized and has said it won't immediately pass the cost on to the consumers. And don't forget, Toyota survived back when the yen was $79 to dollars in 2012. With today's 140 to 150 yen rates, they still have a buffer. Subaru, on the other hand, is in a much more vulnerable position. Of its 670,000 annual US sales, nearly 330,000 are exported directly from Japan, around half. That means tariffs would eat into its most profitable market. Mazda's outlook isn't much better. The US accounts for over 40% of its global sales, and more than 203,000 units, over half, are shipped from factories in Hiroshima and Yamaguchi. A 25% tariff would seriously shake Mazda's financial stability. Back when I was working for a French supplier, I actually handled the accounts for both Subaru and Mazda. What surprised me a little bit was how few people in those companies spoke English, and even though their business in North America was massive. Since my French boss couldn't speak much Japanese, so I had to translate for him constantly. Well, that period of time was a little bit intense, honestly. Now let's talk about Nissan, which I currently work closely with. Nissan is in the transitional period of time, and the US marks up 35% of its global sales, and it currently exports about 150,000 vehicles from Japan to the States. But here is the twist. Under the ongoing global restructuring, Trump's tariffs might push Nissan to expand the US production even faster, and car back on export from Japan. Originally, Nissan plans to reduce US capacity due to the financial pressure, but now they may need to rethink about that. Maybe even shift production of models like X-Trails from Kyushu to the United States. That would not only impact the Kyushu plant's future, but could trigger a broader wave of domestic factory closures. And don't forget, Nissan's recently cut off major talks with Honda. Combined with deep losses in North America, tariffs could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. But Honda is a lucky guy, and of the 1.4 million vehicles it sells annually in the US, only 5,000 are exported from Japan. Thanks to its long-established production site in North America, Honda is almost completely isolated from the tariffs. In fact, you could say Honda is a lucky one among Japanese automakers this time. Besides the tariffs, there's another silent threat, the yen's exchange rate. The yen has recently rebounded a little bit, but it's still historically weak. That's been a big bonus for exporters like Toyota and Mazda, helping them offset potential losses. Well, I previously made a video arguing that the yen will likely continue weakening long term. There is always a chance of short-term spikes. This tariff threat is forcing Japanese automakers to make painful decisions. Should they absorb shrinking profits or invest billions to shift production to the United States? And all of this hinges on one big unknown question. How long will Trump policy last? In short, Japanese automakers are no longer just betting on currency trends. They're betting on US politics, which is a far riskier game. So right now, Japan's auto industry and more broadly Japan's economy is facing a painful dilemma, whether bleed out quickly or suffer a slow chronic decline. Considering the fluctuations of Japanese yen and also the shifting supply chains and the shrinking domestic market, this might be the biggest challenge Japan's carmakers have faced since World War II. And the outcome of Japan's ongoing negotiations with the US might shape not only the next decade of global auto markets, but Japan's national destiny as well. Alright, that's all for today's episode, and if you found this video insightful, please give me a thumb up, share it with others, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.